Hello, everybody. What is up? Happy Friday. Welcome to Cantina Social Hour. Tonight, November the 15th, 2024, Friday. It is great to be here. It is great to see everybody in the chat. Welcome. Welcome to Cantina Social Hour. If you're just joining in on the replay, hello to you as well, even though I won't see your comments. All the same, I appreciate you being here with us tonight. So what's up, you guys? It's great to be here. What better way to spend my Friday night than with you guys here in the Cantina? So welcome to the show. Thank you for hanging out with me as always. I really appreciate it. And there's some toy news this week. We got some toy news to talk about, so we're going to be talking about the toys in just a little bit. We got our guest coming on. Nilda will be with us a little bit later this evening. But we're going to get things started by talking about, you guys know what it's about. We're going to be talking about the brand new album, as you know, that is coming out on December the 3rd. Tuesday, December the 3rd. We're releasing Sounds of the Cantina. I'm really excited for it. I hope you guys are as well. So, of course, I'm going to talk a little bit about that too. So the song that you heard playing at the beginning was the latest release from Sounds of the Cantina, Haunted House, which was just released on Tuesday. That is the third track to be released from Sounds of the Cantina. There will be a fourth one released next Tuesday. We're going for the Tuesdays, so we'll have a brand new one on Tuesday. But yeah, I'm really excited. So let me go ahead and pull this up. If you haven't heard it already, it was playing at the intro. But I've got Haunted House released anywhere you listen to your music. Spotify, Tidal, Amazon Music, Apple Music, or iTunes, whatever it's called now. I think it's still called. I think it's called Apple Music. Whatever Google's called these days. Basically, anywhere you enjoy your music. It's on iHeartRadio, all of those stations. Anywhere you download music, you can get Haunted House. So I want to talk a little bit about Haunted House, talk a little bit about the album for just a couple minutes before we get into the nitty-gritty of tonight's business. So Haunted House is actually one of the oldest songs that I created for the Victoria's Cantina YouTube channel. It goes back to November 2018, so it just turned 6 years old. I created Haunted House specifically with the intent of creating some sort of music, some sort of song that evoked the feeling of being haunted. Now, whether that's a person being haunted, like from their past, up to interpretation, maybe it's a literal haunted house, up to interpretation. But the way I created it, I wanted it to evoke the feeling of being in a eternal nothingness, essentially, just being trapped, being stuck in a desolateness that you cannot escape. And that's where the haunted house aspect comes from. I feel like if you listen to it, you can kind of hear like the ghosts reaching out to you and trying to pull you into their world, sort of. That eternal nothingness, that eternal desolateness. But that's just my personal interpretation. The thing I love about music, especially these songs don't have lyrics, as you know. I only really can only hear me like making sounds like in one, like my own voice in one of them. But so that's one of the cool things about instrumental synthwave music is that, you can interpret it however you want. So yeah, Haunted House, it's out now. I love this song. It's one of my favorites on the album. Yeah, I put a lot of time into that track. So Sounds of the Cantina is going to be coming out on December the 3rd once again. And I have a little treat for you tonight if you've been enjoying the music. And if you're not, that's fine too. If you're not here for the music, whatever. I'm just talking about it because I'm excited about it. And it's a Victoria's Cantina official project, right? It's got my label on it. So I got to talk about it, right? So one thing I want to give you guys here is a little preview of the next song to be released from the album. All right, so this is going to be released next Tuesday. I haven't done a preview like this so far on Social Hour. You guys are getting it first for the first time ever. You're going to preview the next single here in just a moment. So this song is called Cybernetic Dreams. Cybernetic Dreams. It just might be my personal favorite on the album. I'm not really sure. I enjoy them all. Even though I made them, I still enjoy listening to them. They're fun. But yeah, here you go. For the first time ever, here's a very brief preview of Cybernetic Dreams. So Cybernetic Dreams will be released on Tuesday. And then once again, the whole album will be released on Tuesday, December the 3rd. I'm also announcing here for the very first time that we will be doing a release party for Sounds of the Cantina, a special edition of Cantina Social Hour on Tuesday, December the 3rd, to celebrate the release of the album. There won't be a lot of toy talk that night. The focus is gonna be on this new music, and I'm gonna be going in depth on how I made it. I'm gonna be going in depth in other songs that aren't gonna get official releases, because you're only hearing 5 of them before the album comes out. There's 12 songs in the album, but that night I'll be talking about all of them, and that'll be a release day. So I'm really excited for that special live stream. Tuesday, December the 3rd, release party for Sounds of the Cantina. Passion project that's been years in the making, quite literally. So stay tuned for that. All right, so I hope to see you guys there for the release party. We'll still have normal social hour on that Friday night as well. So it's just in addition to. So I'm excited about that. So Cybernetic Dreams on Tuesday. And then the following Tuesday, the 26th, there'll be one more song released from the album before the official release. So you're getting 5 singles total leading up to the official album release. I'm really excited for Sounds of the Cantina, and I hope at least some of you are interested in checking it out. If you are listening to it, if you are hearing it it's on Instagram, you could use it in your story, in your Instagram stories, your posts. If you are using it, firstly, thank you for doing that. And secondly, tag me. If you're using it, tag me on in your stories and your posts that you may be using the music, because I love seeing that. It's a lot of fun for me, so thank you for doing that. All right, so that is out of the way. As always, I do want to remind you guys that if you are purchasing from, I was going to say Amazon, from Entertainment Earth, please use promo code Victoria. If an item is in stock, you get yourself an extra 10%. Right now, they're doing quite a few Black Friday deals. They started early this year, as have many retailers. So if you are ordering from Entertainment Earth, an item's in stock, you want to get it, use promo code Victoria, get yourself an extra 10% off, and save yourself a little money. I mean, we're collectors, we buy stuff, and every little bit helps, even a little 10% here and there. Take advantage of that promo code, because it is there, it is available. And yeah, I think that takes care of the housekeeping things that I wanted to go over. So let me go ahead and see who's in the chat. Say hello to everybody, and then we'll talk about tonight's topics. So we got Dodgson asking for 1 round of blue milk, please, for a weary traveler who has just had a long and unbearable day. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Dodgson, that you had a long and unbearable day, but welcome to the Cantina, and we'll be passing a glass of blue milk to the man in the glasses with the nondescript briefcase. Paul, how's it going? Paul, it's good to see you. Thank you for joining us this Friday evening. We got Adam in the house, our resident moderator here in the chat. Thank you for moderating, Adam, as always. Adam says, good evening, all. We have made it through another week. Here we are. We have indeed, and we have some stuff to discuss. Very nice. Let's see who else is with us. We got Britt in the house. Hey, Britt, good to see you as always. Trevor's with us. Hello, Trevor. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We got Chad with us. Hello, Pico B1. Hello there, my gang. How's everyone tonight? I'm good. Hope you guys are good. I'm looking forward to tonight. Cantina Sashar. I've been looking forward to it all day. Because, yeah, I've had a long week, too, and it's nice to unload by talking toys with you guys. My Cantinians, the best. The best of the best. Let's see here. Whom else is with us? We got Nicholas in the house. Hey, Nicholas, thank you for joining us. We got William with us. Good evening, Victoria. It's my birthday, and happy to be here. William, happy birthday. I'm honored that you would spend your birthday with us here in the Cantina. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. And I hope you're having a tremendously good birthday. Happy birthday, and enjoy, and thank you for being here. I hope that this helps to some extent contribute to the happiness of your birthday. Thank you. Bob, how's it going? Good to see you. Happy Friday, Cantina patrons. Good to see you, Bob. We got Marcus joining us. Hey, Marcus, what's up? Greetings from Germany, he says. Thank you. I love how we have people all over the place tuning into Cantina Social. I know it's really early in the morning over there, right? It's probably super, super early. But thank you for being here. We really do appreciate that. And Social Hour is a global show. People watch from all over the place. How Runner Base, how's it going? What's going on? We got Allison with us. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, Allison. Thank you for coming in. We got our pal Mary with us. Hey, Mary. Good evening. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. As you always do, we appreciate that very much. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, release party. I'm excited for it. It's going to be December the 3rd. We'll be here talking about music, and it'll be a little departure from the toy talk, but the whole thing's going to be about the albums. I'm excited, and I'll provide snippets of the whole thing, and the album will be available. Most importantly, I won't have to be talking about it every single show anymore. I probably still will a little bit here and there, gotta be honest. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited, like, honestly. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. Congrats on the album release. Most impressive. Appreciate it. Thank you, Trevor. 5 glasses of blue milk. Oh my goodness. Okay, we can do that. We can definitely do that. Troy, how's it going? Good to see you, Troy. Thank you for joining us tonight. Awesome. I think we're off to a great start. We got Allison, Troy. Hey, Allison, how's it going? Thank you for tuning in. The horses are off to the races. Did I finally get that quote right? Did I finally get it right? I don't know. But cheers, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome. Thank you guys for being here. All right. Let's talk about this evening's topics for just a moment. So tonight we are talking about a range of toy news. So we are discussing, we're going to check in on the HasLab, see what's going on with the Ghostbusters Ecto 1 and Ecto 1A, see how that's doing. We're going to talk about brand new SH Figuarts releases because SH Figuarts, they just announced that they are going to be doing some Lord of the Rings figures. I saw those and I was like, they also announced some new Harry Potter figures, which they haven't touched Harry Potter in like 5 years or something. So I saw that and I was like, wow, are they really going to go back to Harry Potter? We'll talk about that. We got some Batman stuff with us. You probably saw in the thumbnail that there's the classic Bat logo that we all know and love. There is some Batman stuff. There's actually several Batman items we're going to talk about tonight that I thought were either interesting or that I'm interested in pre-ordering. But mostly that I thought were interesting in this case. We got some Star Wars Black Series announcements, or at least one of them it looks like. We got some TVC talk to partake in. An interesting TVC topic, actually, regarding a certain case that's coming up or not coming up. I don't even know anymore. So we're going to talk about it. Maybe you guys can help me figure out what's going on with this. There's a brand new Hot Toys, some new images that have popped up for Star Wars and Batman related figures. We're going to talk about that. And then, of course, we'll be talking new acquisitions, things that you guys have been adding to your Cantina, to your collection. Is it Friday? To your collection recently. And I have a few things to show you guys as well that came in this week that I'm sure I already talked about before, but we got some stuff that we're going to talk about. And of course, at that point, you guys will share your acquisitions and I'll call them out. I'll read through them and we'll discuss what you guys have been adding to your collections too. Cool. So those are our topics. If you guys want to talk anything else, just, let me know. And we can definitely address that as well. Hot Toys Golem. Yeah, I don't know, Britt. I don't know that I'd want a Hot Toys Golem. Yeah. No. That'd be very scary. Charlie Unicorn's with us. What's up, Charlie? Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Have you been to Candy Mountain lately? All right. So as you saw from the thumbnail, our guest tonight is Nilda from Appetite for Collectibles. We've had her on a couple of times before. She's going to be hanging out with us a little while. I think probably within the next 10 to 15 minutes. She'll be coming on, so I'm going to go ahead and get things started, and then when she comes in, we'll talk. So as you know as well, one thing I just wanted to mention, we did change the time to Cantina Social Hour to 6:30. Tonight that made a big difference. It was a huge help. We used to do it at 7 o'clock, and that was, it was fine. I know it was a little late, especially when I wanted to get East Coast guests on the show. It was kind of a little struggle because, in the East Coast, when it's 7 o'clock here, it's 10 o'clock on the East Coast, so it's kind of a little bit of a challenge. So I moved it to 6, and 6 was fine, but for me personally, on the West Coast, it was kind of a bit of a time crunch, getting off work, rushing home, rushing through dinner, getting ready, setting things up, getting all the windows and everything open for the show, and I was rushing a lot. Tonight, doing it at 6:30 was great. It was like for me, it was like perfect. So we're going to stick with this 6:30. Like I told you last week, this will be the normal time going forward. I can't promise there will never be another time where we do a 7 o'clock or a 6 o'clock. It just depends on like those guests. Sometimes there's guests on that need to be accommodated by shifting the time a little bit, but probably 90% of the time, the show is going to remain at 6:30 because I think it worked out really well for me tonight, and we're going to keep going with it. But that's boring talk. I know you guys want to talk toys, right? So let's go and talk toys. Let's talk collectibles. Let's go and get right into it. And then when Nilda gets here, we'll just bring her into the show. I did see that. Jeff is with us now. What's up, Jeff? Better late than never. Absolutely. Better late than never, but not ever better than late. I have no idea what I just said. Anyway, I hope you guys can hear me okay. I hope you can see me okay. We're going to go ahead and get right into the toy talk. So here we go.
This is where the fun begins.
All right. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and check in on that haslab, see what's going on. Because as you guys know, we're coming up upon December's when that campaign ends. So we're going to check in on that and see what's going on. So let's go ahead and pull up the Ecto 1A and Ecto 1 and see how it is doing currently. All right. So I haven't looked at it since last week, so I have no idea what's going on here until now. There's 17 days remaining. So a little over 2 weeks. It is currently at 9,223 backers out of a target of 12,000. I still think this is going to fund, but I am going to express a little bit of concern right now because when we checked in on this last week, I'm pretty sure that it was at 9,000. So that means it's only gone up. It's only gone up about 200 in the last week. That concerns me just a little bit. I still feel confident that this is going to fund. I think the Ghostbusters fans are going to show up. I think they're going to pull through in the last week, the last few days. But it has slowed down more than I expected. Yeah, that's like 200, a difference of 200 compared to last week. I thought this would probably be closer to 10,000 if I had to guess. So I'm a little surprised that it slowed down quite as much as it has. Now, to be honest, I do think part of the reason it has slowed down is because, Mondo is doing those brand new real Ghostbusters figures, those 6-inch figures that cost $101 a piece, right? You could get the real Ghostbusters Peter Venkman for $101 with Slimer, or you can get the 2-pack with Sam Hain, and that is $202. So I definitely do think that has cut into what's going on with this haslab. I know some people are going for either or. And people that are going for the Mondo figures I've had them tell me, I'm going to have to pass on the haslab because I want these Mondo figures instead. The Mondo figures is a window. You can only pre-order them up to a certain point, I believe. And then that's that. So I really do think that has pulled some attention away from the haslab. I'm not sure why the powers that be timed these at the same time. I really think that they should have let the haslab play out, then move on to the Mondo or vice versa. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just a person commentating on this stuff. I think that's part of the reason this has slowed down. So I'm wondering why it hasn't moved a little more than it has, other than that being a factor. Because I know it was 3/4 of the way last week when I last looked at it. So again, I think it's going to fund. I think it will pick up. This is a great set. I mean, if you're into Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters is not Marvel. It's not Star Wars. But it is certainly up there. I'd probably put in my top 5 as far as fandoms go. It's a one-of-a-kind piece. You're never going to get this cheaper than it is now. It's the haslab Ghostbusters Ecto 1 or the Ecto 1A, depending on how you want to dress it up. If you are buying the deluxe, of course, you can make it the Ecto 1A. You get the extra Ghostbusters figures with the deluxe for just $75 more. It's really a no-brainer. If you're going to buy this, get the deluxe. That makes the absolute most sense. And then we're all getting the Louis Tully figure, right? Who was an early bird unlock that didn't get unlocked. So they said, hey, Halloween's coming up. We're going to go ahead and give it to you guys. You're going to get Louis Tully with this set. So we're all getting him if this funds. I'm really excited about these ghosts, though, you guys. I mean, the librarian ghost, come on. When was the last time we've gotten the librarian ghost? I think Mattel may have made a librarian ghost when they were in charge of their own 6-inch Maddie Collectors Ghostbusters line. But, I mean, look at this. This looks great. Imagine setting this up on your shelf with a little bit of like backlighting or a light underneath her, just giving her that really ethereal, ghostly look. Man, that would be cool. I'm excited about these ghosts, you guys. She comes with the books. Yeah, this is cool stuff. And Slimer, I mean, looks really good. I love how they made Slimer like coming out of like a drip of slime for his display stand. Like that's just a really cool. That's a brilliant way to do it. It really is. And not too dissimilar from what Mondo's doing with their Real Ghostbusters release. So I'm really excited for this. I hope it backs. I definitely got in on this. What a great picture. I mean, you could do this. You could set it up on the shelf just like this. You can have him like scaring people in the window. Set up your own little diorama. I mean, it's a neat thing. And there's never going to be another 6-inch scale Ecto one. At least not for a very, very, very long time, and certainly not at this price point. Hasbro, this is a collector item, but Hasbro is still a mass marketing global enterprise, right? They're still producing something at a lower cost than it would be through, say, Mezco, if Mezco was doing 12 scale vehicles, or if Tamashii Nations was doing 12 scale vehicles. It's still going to be. It's still a pretty decent deal, especially if you go deluxe. Like I said, you get all the Ghostbusters in their charcoal outfits, which I always, as a kid, liked these outfits better. So I'm glad to see them. And all we really need, I've said it before, all we really need after this is going to be the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. That's it. Once we get that added to our 6-inch line of Plasma series, then I think we're pretty much set. And Janine. Of course, we need Janine as well. So here's hoping that that these unlock. Yeah, the ghosts look great. Definitely, Chad. They look awesome. Adam says, to me, it looks like Slimer didn't make it to the bathroom. You know what looked like that was the Amber Collection dinosaurs when they were doing like the Raptors, when Mattel did the Amber Collection. They came with those yellow bases. That's what it looked like to me. Charlie the Unicorn says, waiting on the Blitzway 4-pack for Ghostbusters. Yeah. I mean, those, yeah. So that's another thing that you could do, too, is you could go 6 scale, and you could get those Ghostbusters in 1/6 scale if you want to have, that's your preferred scale. Let's see. William says, I don't have any Ghostbuster representation in my new growing collection, so I'm getting both the haslab and Mondo figure. That's going to be about $1,200 when all is said and done. Ouch. Definitely ouch, but if you get the Ecto one, you go deluxe. You're getting all 4 Ghostbusters. You're getting Slimer. You're getting the Library Ghost. You're getting Louis Tully. And the Ecto one, that is an instant collection right there. That is a display piece. That is a centerpiece. That is a conversation piece. You have an instant little collection just with that, without even looking at anything else that's come out of Plasma Collection in the past. That's an instant collection. That's like really all you would need, I think, to set up a nice diorama on the shelf. But yeah, the Mondo figures definitely add on to that. So it becomes more expensive for sure. And yeah, Britt, I'm excited to finally get Ghosts in the line. And this is a really good point, Britt. If Ernie Hudson came out and talked about the HasLab, that would help a lot. It definitely would help. I mean, everybody loves Ernie Hudson. He's great, right? He comes out talking about Ghostbusters. He's always positive and upbeat. And yeah. I'm surprised that they haven't done something like that quite yet, because I know he is the most vocal actor from the Ghostbusters films, and I love to see when he comes out talking about Ghostbusters. So yeah, they should definitely recruit him while they can, right? They should definitely recruit him, bring him out, and have him, and they should send him one too, because I mean, I think he'd be very deserving of getting one of these sent to him for sure. Britt says, feeling fine that it will fun, but not a great thing for the future. The line that it's not knocking it out of the park. Yeah, I think this is really it. I know other people have said it too, that this is probably like the swan song for Plasma series, and I think that's true. Plasma series they haven't touched since the first film, right? So I think this is really going to be it. I think this is it, and then if they could find a way to do Janine and find a way to do Marshmallow Man, like I would be totally content. And I wouldn't need anything further from Plasma series, if I'm honest. Like if you gave me those two things after this Hasbro, I could sail away. I could ride away into the sunset, so to speak, off of my 6-inch scale Ghostbusters from the films. Anyway, so that would be really, really, really good. All that food he eats has to go somewhere, Adam. Yeah. Gozer, yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. So they did the Gozer figure for Plasma series first time around, and it was a really nice figure. I like the sparkly like iridescence that she had. Allison says all that's missing is a Janine for me to have what I need. Yeah, Janine and Marshmallow Man, and then I would be set. Like I wouldn't need anything further from this line. And I talked to them at Comic Con, and I said, hey, what's going on with Plasma? Like why hasn't there been anything? That. And anytime you talk to these folks, they're listening to what you're saying, but they can't tell you anything, of course. But one thing that I did mention was that I would love to see more of the retro stuff come back, more reissues of the classic Kenner Rose Ghostbusters figures, because I mean that is one of the greatest toy lines of all time. I had those toys all over the place when I was a kid. That was one of the first like toy lines I really got into. And yeah, aside from the Ghostbusters, you had the ghosts. You had the craziness of the monsters, like and like Granny Gross, and like was it Leatherneck with the football helmet that would pop up and it would be like a little football monster. Like there were some really brilliant fun, and I think I gotta emphasize fun toys that came out during that line that I lost track of over the years, and I'd love to see make a comeback. Just like Mattel, or just like Playmates has been going all in on reissuing all kinds of stuff from the Ninja Turtles line, like the Technodrome is just starting to ship. I think Hasbro needs to keep pumping things out for the retro line, even if it's just online only, not to be sold at Target necessarily or Walmart, just online only. Like that would be, I'd be good with that. But there are definitely a bunch of real Ghostbusters figures that I want to get that I no longer have, and don't necessarily want to pay what eBay prices are. I will if I have to eventually, but I would love to see those come back. Like to see them like on card, to see them like mint condition, brand new. That'd be awesome. So we shall see. So yeah, back the haslab if you want to, and if you don't want to, then don't back it. All right, let's go and talk about some SH Figuarts, because like I was saying, SH Figuarts out of the blue said, hey, you guys, we're doing some stuff that you're not expecting, that we haven't touched in a really long time. Why are we going to do it? We don't know, but we know you'll buy them. So looking here on their Instagram page for Tamashii Nations, let's talk about those Lord of the Rings figures I mentioned just a moment ago. As soon as it loads, we can talk all about it. But until then, we're going to wait for it to fully load here. But yeah, they're constantly making all kinds of stuff. I've bought SH Figuarts. I'm going to refresh this for many years, going back to when they were doing their Star Wars figures. Maybe I shouldn't have refreshed it. Going back to when they were doing like their Star Wars figures back in like 2016, 2017. I always thought they were like really good. Quality. At the time, Tamashii Nation was where it was at. They were better than Black Series. They were just really solid. So I started buying them probably around 2016, 2017, and then I went into some of their Harry Potter figures. I went into some of their Batman stuff. And yeah, they make some pretty solid stuff overall. Even today, I would say Black Series has closed the gap between the two. But there's some stuff that Figuarts does that just nobody else is doing. Even like the Dragon Ball stuff. I have a little shelf with the Dragon Ball stuff set up, and those are a lot of fun. I guess this is just really slow to load, is what it is, for whatever reason. But I like this. One does not simply make Lord of the Rings action figures. You're right. Right. It takes a little bit more than that to produce Lord of the Rings figures. Yeah. So maybe Instagram's just running really slow. I don't really know, but we're just going to bear with it because the pictures are here. And it looks like they are loading. It's just a little bit slow to load. So while we wait, I'm going to bore you with myself rambling, as I do the entire show for the most part. While we wait for this to load, I do see that our friend Nilda is in the green room. She is ready to come on. So we're going to wait for this to load, and we're going to go ahead and bring her into the show, Cantina Social Hour Friday night. What is up, Nilda? How's it going?
Hi.
How
Can
you
you hear
doing?
me? Can you
Yes.
hear me? Oh, okay.
Yes, we
How's it
can.
going?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I was literally just rushing home from work. I wanted to like make it here on time and then also catch the Mike Tyson fight.
Nice. Well, we're glad you're here. Thank you for coming on. I was talking, you were on earlier this year and a couple of times, and we're really excited to have you back. So thanks for coming on to Social Hour this Friday night.
Thank you. Am I delayed?
There's a slight delay, very slight.
Okay. Do you think that maybe I should just like restart my computer real quick and then just hop back on?
To.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do that.
All right. So while she's working on that, you guys let me know in the comments. Is it? Am I the one that's laggy? Because it could be me. It could be me. Like I'm saying, Instagram is loading really slow, but maybe that's just me. Um, but everything else is working. Instagram is the only thing for me. But anyway, while we wait for Nilda to reboot, it looks this is loading. This is loaded up for the most part. So I'm just going to scroll down here, find these Lord of the Rings figures, and we're going to show them to you here in just a moment. All right, so let me go ahead and make this big for lack of technical terminology here. All right, so Lord of the Rings from SH Figuarts, Tamashii Nations. Thank you, Adam, for the comment there. So maybe there is some correlation with the slow internet or something. We're live and canon will happen. If you can see this and it's not too pixelated, here is one of the figures. Instagram, the Tamashii Nations SH Figuarts Lord of the Rings figures. So Legolas, he looks awesome. The likeness on this, I would say looks really, really good from what we can see here. Yeah, I mean, this looks solid. I know that they've been making these in the 1/6 scale from InArt has been doing them. They look phenomenal. I know we talked about those about a month ago or so. But this 6-inch version from SH Figures, at least from this photo, looks really, really good. I feel like I'm going to get these, you guys. I passed on the InArt ones because I mean, 6 scale is a whole different ball game. I already do 6 scale for Star Wars and some Batman stuff. But when it comes to tertiary lines, it's kind of hard for me to go all in on those when it comes to 1/6 scale. So I may be springing for these here. All right, Nilda, let's try this again. How are we doing?
Okay, now you can. Yeah, now I can definitely see it's a lot better.
Yes, definitely better.
Okay.
And I think I was pixelated or something too, so maybe part of it was on my end. I don't know. But we are live, and anything does happen when you are live, as we've seen in the past. So we always make the best of it. And, I'm just happy to be here on Friday night talking about toys, and I'm glad that you're here with us.
Yay, I'm glad I'm here too.
Yeah. So we're talking about these new SH Figuarts, Lord of the Rings figures. I'm surprised that more companies are starting to do Lord of the Rings stuff. We just saw the InArt Legolas that they announced a few weeks back, and of course they've been doing other characters over the last year or so. But now Tamashii Nations is getting in on the action with SH Figuarts. So what do you think? Do you go at all into like I know you're mostly Star Wars, and that's mostly what I do too, but do you think any part of you is kind of looking at some of these other lines and being pulled towards them?
I have seen a few of the figure arts. I do have a couple buddies of mine who are like big time Lord of the Rings fanatics, so I was contemplating of getting this for them like for Christmas gifts. But some of the stuff that I've seen them drop have been amazing. There was like a comic book shop that a couple times I would help them, and they had a whole bunch of lines for, I think it was, I think they had like one that was like a Jet Li one, I believe, and then,
Mm,
or not Jet Li, Bruce Lee. Um, but I've seen some of their work before. I haven't like personally purchased one, but if they kind of did something in like Star Wars or, maybe in like some of the horror stuff, then yeah, I would definitely buy it.
nice. Yeah, they're like SH Figuarts is almost kind of like NECA to an extent, right? Like NECA does all
Yeah.
kinds of things, right? Like just random things. They do all kinds of things. And you see that too from like with SH Figuarts. Like they just touch all kinds of like random stuff, which is fun to see, but you got to pick and choose with a lot of these collectibles.
Yeah, they're very detailed. Yeah, and I agree with you. They're kind of like NECA for sure.
Yeah. So no, this looks good. Let's just going to toggle through the picture here. So the caption does say that there are other characters as well. So this is a sample showing Legolas, but they're also doing Frodo Baggins, they're doing Gollum, and they're doing Aragorn. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how deep this is going to get, but yeah, I mean, there's always potential. You never know. That's the thing, right? It depends on how they do. The Harry Potter figures, like they only made 4 of them, and they just stopped.
Yeah.
So you never really know what's going to happen. What's interesting though is that they also announced some Harry Potter figures are coming. And again, I mentioned a little while ago they haven't touched this line in 5 years. Like there are Figuarts figures they did, but then they just stopped for like 5 years, and now all of a sudden, randomly, they're pulling a few out. Um, like this here, this is the Goblet of Fire Harry Potter, and then they're also doing Voldemort from the same movie, which looks pretty cool. Like that soft goods looks pretty
Ooh.
epic the way they have it posed. Um, so yeah, these definitely have my attention. I'm inclined to probably lean towards these for sure because I did pick up the older ones. But yeah,
Is
what do
his
you think?
robe made out of cloth?
Yep, soft goods.
Oof. That looks really good. Yeah, see, I love Harry Potter, and I just know like I've always told myself that I try not to buy anything Harry Potter because I don't want to like start that crazy, you know, buying purge that I did with Star Wars and then like create my, like when I start building my toy room, make it like half Star Wars, half Harry Potter. But yeah, anything Voldemort I definitely love.
Nice. Yeah, this looks cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be watching out for the pre-order because yeah, you gotta have the bad guy, right? In any toy line.
I know you got to have every bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah, so these are definitely cool. Um, let's see. I'm just gonna take a peek here, see if they have anything else of interest. I mean, this is an older figure they brought back recently, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I have the original. This one now has a soft goods robe. The older one had plastic, which was kind of annoying because his hood would always pop off.
Ugh.
And then I think they're bringing back Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan, which it's really not a great figure. I used to have it. I sold it. Just wasn't that great. But now he's got a soft goods robe. The other one did not have that. So it's like they make these incremental changes. I'm not sure if they're lateral movements, but it's got the same head. Lightness was just never that great. But yeah, I mean, they're doing all kinds of wacky things here. Um, all right, so we're going to go ahead and switch gears here onto the next topic. So other news from this week, we're going to move into some Batman stuff. Nilda, do you collect Batman to any extent? I can't remember if I asked you this before.
I have some Batman figures, and I'm like crossing my fingers that they're going to be releasing stuff from the Penguin, because that show was just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I can like talk a whole segment about that show.
I know. Yeah, we can chat about it too at the end. But yeah, it was good stuff. Yeah, so McFarlane is doing all kinds of Batman things. They're getting absolutely insane with it. It's almost like too much.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing the Batmobiles in the 1/12 scale. They're doing retro figures. They're doing these 1-to-1 scale cowls. So now they're doing I did pre-order the Batman 89 cowl, but now they're doing the Adam West Batman cowl as well. $99.99. And it is, I mean, it's not my favorite cowl, but I did kind of grow up watching the reruns of the show. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, I have the other one. Do I need to get this one too?
That's pretty.
Yeah, it is nice. It is nice. They did a really nice job with it, from these images at least. I know some people were disappointed that the 89 cowl cannot be worn because of the way it's like sculpted, which, I mean, would you want to wear it? I mean, I feel like if I put that on, I'd get makeup on it and my hair would get stuck and like.
Oh no, I would want to wear it. It would be one of those that I'm like wiping off all my makeup and like putting stuff on so I don't get like any of my oils on it.
Yeah, it's a cool looking piece. I don't know if I'm going to go with this one, but I do like seeing that they're continuing to expand what they're doing. And like I said, they're almost doing too much. There's just a lot of McFarlane stuff right now concerning their Batman line. They're really really touching, leaving no stone unturned, essentially.
I think they're just trying to hype up all of it, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Let's see. So in addition to that, they also have, this was just announced this week as well. They are moving into, this is talking about their 7-inch scale figures. So now they're also going to be doing this Joker 2-pack, based on the first Joker film.
Wow.
And it's an interesting piece. It's a diorama piece that has the 2 figures with it. So you get the Joker figure, you have the Murray Franklin figure, and then the set, right? You get the whole set. So this is a box set. It's a limited edition set that you can pre-order now. Now, the chatter on the internet isn't so much about the fact that they're making this, which is pretty cool. It's more about the price of this particular set because, a standard McFarlane figure in the 7-inch scale typically costs about $25.
Mm-hmm.
This, however, it's 2 figures. It also has the diorama base. It carries a very hefty price.
Don't tell me it's $69.
What's that?
Don't tell me it's like $69.
If only it were $69. Like that would be. That would be cool if it were $69, but we'd have to keep moving upwards in order to find the actual price. Take a second guess.
All right, so if you're saying it's not 69, oh man, don't tell me it's like $89.
A little more than that.
It's more than 100?
It is more than 100. That is accurate.
No.
Okay.
How big is the diorama?
You ready for it? $250.
What? What?
Yeah.
The second movie was terrible. I think they're trying to I think they're trying to recoup for the loss from the second movie, so this is why they're making the figures so expensive.
It could be. I think they probably. I mean, I saw, I saw the first movie in the theater. I haven't seen the second one yet. I've heard a lot about it. Um, and they probably should have released something like this before the second movie came out, I would guess. So yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like the price is quite justified unless they're making like a very, very, very small amount. And there's no indication from this website. From this is their website directly. How limited it is exactly. It just says you get the two 7-inch figures in the diorama piece.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to sell out.
Yeah,
Unless you're a big Joker fanatic, and I get it. The first movie was amazing. I loved it. I saw it in theaters, but there's no way unless it comes like signed. But yeah, there's definitely no way I'm spending that much money on that.
yeah, it's pretty wild. And it's not really like that limited. I mean, it's available on Amazon, GameStop, McFarlane Toys Directly, Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store. It's not like a limited edition thing or like a timed release or anything. It's like if you want it, you have all these places to order it from. So I'm not sure why the price is what it is. There's a lot of people on the internet that don't get it either. So um, I don't know. Licensing, I have no idea. I don't know why it's that expensive, but
Yeah.
I mean,
With
it's
that,
not a
you
bad
might
looking
as
set.
well. It's not. I think it's very colorful. The box cover, I think it's great. But if it's gonna be $200, you're better off just investing that and actually buying like a sideshow or a hot toy of that version, and then you can build your own diorama yourself. But yeah, I wouldn't, not for a DC multiverse figure.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's interesting. I'm curious to see how many. We won't know exact numbers, but I'm curious to see, like, based on what whether or not it sells out or whether or not it goes on like big sale, like Amazon. If it doesn't sell on Amazon, they're going to drop the price. They always do that. So I'm interested to see, like, if that happens, and if so, how inexpensive it becomes. Because yeah, that's just a really wild thing to see it at that price.
Yeah, I agree. That price is too wild.
Pretty bunkers. All right, so these are cool. These are actually really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up, jump over to Instagram, my pal Toyshes, and take a look at what he's got on this picture here of holiday-inspired 12-inch Batman figures from Spin Master. Clearly taking inspiration from Hasbro Star Wars, as they do the Black Series holiday figures.
Mm-hmm.
So now Spin Master's getting in on the holiday action with these 12-inch. I think they're usually around $10-ish. These 12-inch holiday Superman and Batman characters.
I love the Joker one.
Yeah, the Joker one's fun. I feel like I mean, I don't know. I feel like I kind of need these. Like, it's just so weird. And I mean, I know there is like precedent for the Joker to be dressed like this, right? There's like Christmas with the Joker, but like the other ones, they just look so random and just so like. And like I said, these are only like $10. So it's hard not to if I see these on the shelf, I'm going to be hard pressed to keep walking.
See, for me, because we have this tradition here in our house that we have an elf in a shelf. So it's like I would buy these to do like reenactments of like different scenes. Maybe like get them in a bar with the elf, or I don't know. Like I definitely would probably purchase these if they're $10. I would get them and like do little scenes of them in my house.
That'd be fun. Yeah, and just a cute like holiday decoration. Like I could put it like in my classroom, like on the desk or something, like one of them, like Batman or
Hmm.
Superman. That would be fun. Yeah, it's cool. And I'm just noticing. I love how Target commented on this post and said, "Ask them to if they can use his picture of taking in their own store," which is kind of strange. But
Oh,
yeah.
Target's ruthless. They like to comment on everything now.
Oh yeah. But yeah, these are cool. I wonder if there's any other ones that we haven't seen. Like, imagine if there was like holiday Catwoman or holiday. Robin, or
Ooh.
oh no, there is Robin, but like Holiday, I don't know, Wonder
They
Woman,
should
like those would be pretty cool.
they should have done a Catwoman because you and I both love Catwoman, so we definitely would have bought that immediately. I probably would have bought two.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe there's a wave two, or that's coming out or something. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what else do we got? We do have, okay, we have two more Batman topics as far as collectibles go, but I'm going to go ahead for a moment, switch gears over to Star Wars, because there is a brand new Black Series release that is currently making the rounds. So this is on Amazon.com currently. This is a Black Series 2-pack based on Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And it contains these two figures here. As you can see, it has the gaming greats, Dagon and BX Droid, which is like I guess like a repainted commando droid from the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
$44.99. Of course, they've done both of these figures before. They just released the Dagon figure, and he doesn't come with the arm, but this one has the holographic arm. So, I guess not horrible for $44.99, but a little bit repetitive if you already have either of these figures. I still haven't played that game, so I don't really know too much about what's going on. I don't have a PS5, so I can't play it. But
so I don't have a. Oh yeah, I don't have a PS5 either. But like, thank God I have friends of mine who do. So like, I went over there and used it because I'm sorry, unfortunately, I was not going to be buying a PS5 just to play this game.
Right. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I still own like some of my old school consoles. Like I have a PS4, I have a Super Nintendo, I have a Nintendo 64, and then sooner or later I'm going to be getting a Sega Genesis. But it's like I have more fun playing with like my vintage video games than like upgrading and switching my PS4 to a PS5.
Yeah. Yeah, I think eventually I'll do it, but I'm just not at that point yet where I'm like, there's already too many other things to buy, right? It's like, do I want to buy a PS5 right now? No, not really.
I know. Trust me, I feel the exact same way. There hasn't been like a game where I'm just like, I gotta run to GameStop and like trade in all my stuff to get this.
Yeah, that's the tough part. There's too many items, too many games, too many things vying for our collection dollars. It's like you kind of got to prioritize a little bit.
Yeah.
There is another Black Series item. Go ahead and pull this up here. So this comes from Yakface's Instagram. So this here is the Black Series Clone Commando and Training Battle Droid 2-pack. And I believe this is also an Amazon exclusive that you can pre-order already. Mm-hmm. Again, both repaints. They've done the Battle Droid a bunch of times. The Commando they've done several times now. So, I guess it is specific to the game, right? So if you're interested in that, then cool. But I think both of these sets are going to be skippable for me. I don't really do Black Series a whole lot these days, but yeah. These would be like extra skips, I guess, if that makes sense.
I know. I went through like, what was it? Like an 8-year phase where I was just buying strictly nothing but Black Series. I had like a whole wall dedicated. And I'm not even exaggerating. I had over like 350 Black Series figures, still sealed, never taken out. And one day I just like kept looking at like the wall that I had, and I was just like, this is way too many. I gotta do like one massive purge, which I did. I did like all these claim sales like it was like twice a month, I think, about like 2 years ago. And I went through them, and like one of my really good friends, Joel, ended up buying like about 45% of my whole Black Series collection, but he was doing those because he was like making dioramas out of them. But I love Black Series. I love the box cover art, but like eventually it just becomes way too much.
Right. Yeah. I was all in on it too when it first started 2013, like those first several years. Like I was all in on it, but then it was just like, I'm also doing the vintage collection. I'm also doing some Hot Toy stuff. I'm doing Jurassic. I'm doing some Batman, and then odds and ends here and there. So it's just kind of like, well, you know, I'd love to have everything Star Wars, of course, but I
Yeah.
can't, right? So I scaled back a lot on Black Series. But I mean, yeah, they're neat. This is your cup of tea, then definitely you might want to give it a look. I see some new folks here in the chat. Just want to say hello to really quick. We've got Lance Peter Luke. How's it going, Lance Peter Luke? Good to see you. And
Hi, Peter.
channel member Shelf Scenes is with us. How's it going, Shelf Scenes? Good to see you. Thank you for hanging out with us. Happy Friday to you as well. Dodgson with a question: are there any vintage collection figures with barbell hips? I've noticed that most of the VC figures don't have this, and it relates to my new acquisition. Most vintage collection figures these days come with the barbell hips. They started doing that a couple of years ago. There's still some they re-release, like older ones that come back, like the Stormtrooper, for example, that have the older style hips that are really annoying to work with. But most newly sculpted figures do have the barbell hips these days. So hopefully that answers your question. Charlie asking, do you own any of the Star Wars helmets or lightsabers? Yes, I do. I do have not all of them, but I do have several of the Black Series helmets. I actually have a new collection set up I haven't shown you guys quite yet that I will be doing a video for in the near future, where I do feature some of those helmets. And the lightsabers, yes, I do have quite a few of those, and that's just going back to like the Master Replicas days, like 2005, I think is when I started buying those. So I do have lightsabers, and I do like lightsabers, and I do like helmets. I like it all. What can I say, Nilda? I like it all.
I know the other day, like I was going through my helmet collection and like doing like so I'm very not anal, but it's like I need to have like a list on my computer. So it's like going through my list of like all the helmets that I have. And then I turned around and like even my fiance, he looked at me and I was just like, damn, I was like, I have like 40 helmets. I was like, where do they go? And then, like there's like 3 dropping on Sunday. So I'm like, I really want this one. I really want that one. But, like eventually I started loving the helmets that I'm like, I need to cut back and like figure out which helmets is it that I really don't want. And I'm the same boat as you. Like I want to collect this, I want to collect that, but it's like eventually I just don't want it oversaturating my whole entire house.
Yeah, that's the hard part, is like finding that balance, right? Because collectibles will take over your space if you allow them to.
Mhm.
And then you have a whole other problem, right? Instead of not having enough, you have too much. But it's like, what can we do? It always comes back to this.
I want
Yeah.
more. And I know I shouldn't.
I want it all.
It's so funny. I have friends of mine will send me like pictures of like collectibles and I always send them that same entire video. I'm like, I want more.
Yeah, there's just so much out there these days. Like collecting is just, there was a certain point where it became cool to be a collector, because it wasn't cool to be a Star Wars collector. Like nobody would really talk about it, to be honest, up until like 20, like the Force Awakens. I think around there things started to change. But before then, like it wasn't really like cool to be a collector.
No.
It was just, oh, you collect stuff? Why? What do you do with that? But now it's like it's kind of a normal thing. Even like people that aren't hardcore collectors, a lot of people do have like a couple of things at least in their homes or their private collections. But yeah, like there came a point where it just, at that around then is when it just like really exploded with all these companies doing all kinds of stuff. So
Well,
yeah,
COVID was the main reason for it. And
that
like
too.
even before then, like, I joke around with coworkers about this all the time because they've seen like what my toy room looks like and they've been like, "How long have you collected?" I'm like, "I've been collecting toys since I was like 9." But, I used to make jokes and say, when I was single, like if I went out with a guy, I would, after a couple dates, I would be like, "Hey, you know, I would invite you in, but I also don't want you to make fun of me. And they would be like, why? And I'm like, oh, do you remember the movie, The 40-Year-Old Virgin? And they'll be like, yeah. I'm like, well, kind of like Steve Carell, but the female version. I was like, but I have a room dedicated to toys, and I just don't want you to look at me like I'm a weirdo. And they'll be like, oh, it's not that many toys. And I'm like, oh, I was like, you can be the judge of it. And they would walk in and see, and they'd be like, what the hell? And I'm like, I like toys. Sorry.
Yeah, that's how it is. I usually catch people off guard with that myself. Like if I start talking to just I don't know, somebody I meet at a party or somebody's relative or something, you start talking. Oh, so what do you like to do? Oh, go on bike rides. I play guitar. You know, I collect toys. Like just kind of one of those things. When you mention that, some people are like, oh, okay, cool.
Or their first question will be like, oh, what kind of toys? Like
Yeah,
they want to figure out like what are you talking about?
yeah. Then I just hand them over my card. Like, here, go to YouTube, look this up.
Yeah.
And then I'll hear back from them and like what the f, Victoria? Like I wasn't expecting that. Um, but yeah. Hey, it's fun. That's why we do it, right? It's fun. We enjoy it. It makes our lives better and more complete. So,
Yes.
all right. So I think that does Black Series. There is another Star Wars topic I really want to talk about because this is very, 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 very annoying and confusing and frustrating. So there is this recent wave, Nilda, that went up for pre-order in recent weeks. A brand new wave of TVC figures where you could pre-order the whole case. I always go for the case because everything is case fresh, mint condition usually. And from there, if I need to order extras, I can order extras. But when you buy a case, you're getting at least one of the entire wave.
Yeah.
Which is great. This wave, for whatever reason, well, first of all, this is a very frustrating one. I know I already talked smack about this Aura Singh figure that's from 2012 being repacked in 2024 with less accessories and less paint. But I'm not going to talk about the fact that she has less accessories and less paint and doesn't have articulated ankles this time around. Instead, I'm going to focus on the fact that this wave was canceled earlier this week, only for it
What?
to be put back on pre-sold out status, but you can actually add it to your cart still. Like, I have no idea what's going on with this. Pre-sold out, okay, view it in my cart, 0 items. So it's like the button still works and you can't or put it to your cart. I don't know what's going on with this. Nobody knows. Jason at Yakface was saying that he talked to Entertainment Earth and they said, yep, Hasbro canceled the wave because they're going to release each figure by itself instead of in a wave. Only for that to change a couple of days later when it became, oh, now it says pre-sold out. And now Entertainment Earth doesn't really even seem to know what's going on from what I've heard from other folks. So this is weird. Like I liked focusing on talking about all this stuff, but I like focusing too on like just weird random things that don't make any sense in this hobby, and this is one of them.
Yeah, that is really weird. I'll be honest with you. You know this. I'm really good friends with Michonne, who plays Aurora Singh, and I definitely wouldn't buy this. This looks nothing like her. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't want to buy it either.
Yeah, it's just they can't release a figure from 2012 and 2024, 14 years after the
Yeah.
fact, and expect people to be ecstatic about it. I mean, it's even back in 2012, it wasn't like the greatest figure ever. Like she's a little bit short. Michonne is like 5'9", I think. This figure
Yeah,
is a little too short.
yeah, Michonne
Um,
is short. She wears boots to make herself feel tall.
yeah, so it's just interesting that they would bring something back that's so inaccurate. Like it doesn't have articulated ankles. It doesn't come with all the accessories it had the first time because originally she came with like a little case that had 2 lightsaber hilts.
Yeah.
This time it doesn't have that. So it's just like,
Michonne definitely doesn't have like super high cheekbones like that.
here, let's blow this up a little bit. I want to see
Yeah,
it bigger.
that's why I said like, like if any of you guys follow me on Instagram, and even Victoria knows, like Michonne is one of my really good friends. This definitely does not look nothing like her.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's weird.
I'm
It's one
not
of
a
those
fan.
cases of like if you can't give us a brand new one, just don't make one at all. Like, I mean, this is just so old, it doesn't even make sense.
I
And that's
know,
not even
but
accounting for the fact that right next to this figure, you have a picture of Lieutenant Callahan, who's also in this wave from the Ahsoka show, which is fine. They're making her, but they're using Luke Skywalker's body. So, male body for a female pilot,
yeah, I'm definitely not a fan.
which they also did for Dedra Miro from Andor when they announced her TVC figure. It's the same thing basically. It's the male body with a couple of modifications, but the body is just basically the same Imperial body that they've done before. So
It's a big
yeah,
no.
Hasbro not treating their women figures very well. Sorry Hasbro, it's true though. I mean, that's the perception you're giving off when you keep doing things like this. So I'm just saying it, just calling it out. So, um, yeah. So I don't know what's going on with this case. Maybe somebody here knows what's going on with this case. Maybe Hasbro knows what's going on with this case. Maybe Entertainment Earth will find out what's going on with this case. But as of right now, nobody really knows. It's a mystery. It's an unsolved mystery.
It'd be nice if they gave some answers or like updates or like maybe, like they hear some of the complaints going on and they're like, "Hey guys, we're working on stuff, we'll keep you posted."
Yeah. Um.
Yeah, not a fan.
No. Yeah. I
Like
just want to know what's going on.
I keep looking at it to think like maybe I'm gonna change my mind, but I'm just like, no, not a fan.
Yeah. Well, see, I have the original figure from 2012, right? And it's like that's like so far removed from where we're at. So it's like, of course, it's not going to look like accurate, right? Because it's that old.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. It looks like Charlie Unicorn's asking for a photo. Yeah, we got a photo. Let's pull that up. Screenshot.
Look at that. That's like very feminine. And even if you go on Michonne's like Instagram page, she even has like still photos, like from the movie set and stuff like that. That looks absolutely nothing like the figure. Like
Yeah.
me, I wouldn't personally bring her that figure to get it signed because then she would look at it and be like, ew. And like Michonne is that type, you know, she is that type that will like blatantly tell you the truth. And I know for a fact she will look at this figure and be like, this is gross.
Yeah, it's definitely weird.
Yeah.
Spacehead Studio, how's it going? Good to see you. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that case, but I want to find out. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. I hope to have an answer by next week. Nobody knows what's going on. I'm gonna figure out what's going on. I'm gonna report back and let you guys know what's going on because somebody's got to know, and we're gonna know very soon what's going on with that case. So
Plus
yeah,
the fact I don't like the fact that they're like using, you know, um they're doing like feminine faces, but then they're using, like the manly figures to it. Just give its femininity.
right. Yeah, I don't know what the rationales behind that. Let me pull a picture so you can see what they did to Dedra because it's it's sad. Um,
Oh, I can already see it from like the sculpt that you posted. Like she looks very like
oh yes, I did post that on Instagram. Like the way that she looked, it was weird. It was very very exceedingly weird. Um, all right. Well, I look for a photo of that. Yeah, I don't know why they're. I just don't get why they're doing why they're. I understand that they have to take shortcuts with certain things. They gotta repack where they gotta repack. I don't fault them on using their tooling arsenal to create new figures, but at the same time, that needs to be done in a respectful, tasteful way. It needs to be done in a measured way that
Mm-hmm.
has careful thought behind it. Because when you're just slapping, like, you know, cobbling things together using like male anatomy, like, it just doesn't, for some of these characters, it's just not going to work. It's not a shortcut you can really take.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, here we go. Let's go blow this up so we can make this nice and big. Yeah, I'm having a hard time finding a good picture of the figure, which is why I always do my prep a half hour before the show goes live. But now that I'm thinking about this, like, it's starting to bother me. It's starting to get under my skin again. So I'm like kind of determined to find a good photo of it.
I'm
Why don't I just
laughing
go
that
on my
one of the
Instagram? It's
I'm
on my
laughing
Instagram.
that one of the comments is imagine if this was the other way around, like putting manly faces on feminine bodies. Like it would just look terrible.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But I'll be honest with
People
you, if
would,
that's the way that it went, the uproar would be so bad and then they would drastically change it.
yeah. If that's what they were doing, if they were taking, I think I made the comparison. If they were putting like Huxley Leia's arms on back to tank Luke's body, people would be outraged. Like, you would see it, like people on the internet, like, be like, Hasbro, how could you do this? How could you use like women parts on Luke Skywalker? It would be the end
Mm-hmm.
of the world. They would never like live that down. But when it's the other way around, I mean, the truth is the truth. You know, unless you're noticing it, unless you're on the other side of it, you're just gonna gloss over it. But anyway, here's the picture. This is from my, I don't know why I didn't start here because I knew it was on my page. There she is. Oh, it hurts to even look at. I don't even want to look. No, I gotta turn
Oh
around.
my
Cover my
gosh.
eyes.
I like the thighs.
You like the thigh gap? Yeah.
That's like a massive thigh gap. Did they put like something in between her and they were like, okay, we're gonna make her like this and just put a massive thigh gap. We'll make her thighs massive.
Yeah, I know part of that's the outfit. Like, they have these weird pants, right, that the Imperials wear, but at the same time, it's like, lengthen the skirt part a little bit, cover that a little bit
Yeah.
more. You know, like, if you look at pictures where you could see her hands, like her wrists and stuff, it's because they use the male Imperial officers' arms and wrists, so it just looks like she's got these big old like wrists.
That's
And even here,
terrible.
if you look at her, like, look at the ankles, like they're just like so like out of proportion. It's just,
I can't stop there staring at the thigh gap. That's what's ruining for me.
your eyes are just drawn there, right? Like, you can't
She
not see
looks
that.
like what is the thing? Like the nutcracker thing? Like you can like open her and use her for like nutcracker. It looks terrible.
Yeah. And the Black Series one looks great. They gave her a proper body. There may have been some reuse there from what's her name from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, the Imperial officer. Um, they may have used some of her parts to make the Black Series one, but they used a Black Series female body to make another female body, right?
But they use a
They,
female body. At least
yeah,
they use a female body.
right. And in this case, they didn't do that. So thank
Yeah,
you, Britt.
no.
Yeah, Tala. That's what her name was, Tala. Um,
No, that looks terrible.
yeah, and it kind of hurts too because, I mean, I like this character quite a bit. I think she's pretty. I mean, she's awful, of course, but she's very well played in the show.
Yeah, but
Um,
we're fans of villains.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And yeah, so it kind of hurts. It kind of hurts a little bit because you also know that they're not going to go back and fix it, right? They're not going to go back and make another one. Like, this is it, right? They're not going to do that. So
Yes, Charlie the Unicorn. Hot Toys will do her right when Andor drops in 2025.
I hope so. I would buy her if Hot Toys did her for sure.
Oh, 1000%.
Yeah, come on, Hot Toys, you're our only hope.
And that's the thing, like, people always complain about the pricing of Hot Toys, but it's like you're getting what you paid for. They're actually, yes, people do complain about some of the sculpting, and yes, I do agree with some of it, but most of the time they're about like 90% accurate in their sculpting when it comes to the character. So it's like
Right.
if we're going to get her character, it's going to be very feminine. It's going to have a feminine body. It's not going to look like this.
Right. Um yeah, I don't really know what to add to that. I mean, it just, and did you see the Rebel pilots that they did with the same thing with?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like it's not just her, it's not just the Rebel pilot that I just showed you from Ahsoka, but also the Rebel pilot 4-pack that they did a few months back. Like there, I think were there two? I don't even remember. There might have been two female pilots in that set. Maybe it was just one. I don't even remember. But they used Luke Skywalker's body on her, so even that, like, that's 3 times in 1 year that they do
Have you
this. So very flat chest because it's Luke Skywalker's body. Like, so it's just
Yeah.
Hasbro. Come on, Hasbro. Like, I know you guys are better than this. Like, honestly,
Hasbro's like, let's find the cheapest way of going about this.
let's find the cheapest way of making girl action figures, which is just horrible. Like,
It's making them into girls.
I don't know if it's just something that they're oblivious to, or that they're thinking, oh, people aren't going to care. Obviously, we're noticing it. So I love Hasbro, but they got to do better with some of this stuff.
I 100% agree.
The Dad Vader says, I jumped on and instantly saw the thigh count.
It's so noticeable. It's so bad.
Yeah.
You're like in disbelief. You're so quiet. You're like, yeah, it's so bad.
Yeah. Travis says Callahan makes 4. So yeah, I guess 4 this year. Did they do it for Hera? I didn't realize they did for Hera. I thought Hera was a totally newly sculpted figure. I'm pretty sure she's 100% new sculpt, but if I'm wrong, please correct me. But yeah, in any case, 1 is too many, right? And this is the 3rd or 4th time, so and this is a fair point, Bob, saying that Hasbro's not oblivious to this. Don't give them a pass. And obviously, I put up this Instagram post, so I did call them out on this. So yeah, I mean, I really like Hasbro as a company, and I'll sing their praises, more often than not. But when it's warranted, you got to be critical as well. And I think when it comes to something like this, you just got to be critical. I mean, it can't just be, oh, it's okay. It's just a girl Imperial officer. It's just a girl Rebel pilot. Like, no, it's like you can't be that oblivious. You got to see, like, what is the message it's sending? What is the level of care that's going into the product? And it's not a good look. Pletho, how's it going? Saying they gave her glutes. All right, so I'm going off on a tangent on these. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the picture. I don't like looking at that picture. So it's gone. It is gone. But yeah, Hasbro needs to step up and fix some of these decisions that they're making. All right, let's see what is next on our list. All right, so we're jumping back to Batman for a moment, because we got some brand new looks at the Artisan Hot Toys Joker blogger photos that have been put up by Hot Toys. So we're getting to see what the final product looks like. And there are reviews now on YouTube. I've been watching them. I pre-ordered this piece I know it's been kind of delayed, so I think if you're like overseas, maybe you're getting it already. But here are the blogger photos. Sometimes the blogger photos are good, sometimes they're not. Just kind of depends on the photographer and the lighting and whatnot. These are actually really good photos. Um, yeah, it looks good. It looks great. I don't have any complaints here. This is one of the
Yeah, that
first
looks
Hot
good.
Toys. It looks great. This is one of the first Hot Toys they ever made. I think back in like 2012 or somewhere around then, 2010. Um, but all this time later, obviously they can do a better job, right? So, InArt did their own Joker, and everybody loved it. And the artisan line of Hot Toys is meant to compete with InArt. So, yeah, they did a really good job on this artisan version, and I'm really excited to get it.
Yeah, that's really pretty.
Yeah, very lifelike, and good photography too. Like I gotta say, for this time they did a really good job with the photos. 'Cause like I said, it doesn't always happen, but whoever they hired to do these photos definitely did a nice job. Like the pencil there, like that's a good touch.
Yeah, I agree with Charlie the Unicorn. I would love to see the Nurse Joker. That would be great.
Ooh, yeah, that would be a fun one. That would be a good one.
That would definitely sell. Probably sell out.
Yeah. Good comment,
I want to
22.
know how I maxed my credit card. That's funny.
Oh boy. That's why I love being here on Friday night. I'm gonna make your paycheck disappear. Yeah. Good
I've
stuff.
only had two Hot Toys, like actual statues, make my paycheck disappear.
Yeah, it's pretty wild out there right now. Ugh.
That's why I stopped pre-ordering a whole bunch of stuff, because there's been times where I've like totally forgot about the pre-orders, and the next thing you know, like when they immediately like come out, I'll get alerts on my email, and I'm just like, oh, I was like, I forgot I pre-ordered this. I was like, fuck.
Right. Yeah. That's actually something that happened to me earlier this week, and something that I was talking about last week is that, everything is processing from Hasbro like right now for Star Wars. Like any pre-order we've made in the last 6 months for like a larger ticket item, all processed like within a span of like 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
The Armorer's Forge, the Imperial Light Cruiser playset, the latest wave of Black Series, the latest wave of Vintage Collection, the latest round of the Retro Collection. It all came on the same cargo ship, I believe, got processed at the same time, and went out at the same time. So, yeah, we're feeling a lot of pain right now. If you're a Hasbro Star Wars collector, you're feeling a lot of pain over these last couple of weeks. It's just been so super super intense. And we're here for the product. We do want the product, and we want more product. It's just like not all at once. Like don't let that can't be the takeaway. We don't want it all at once.
I know, just
Spread
do
it
it in
out a little
little
more.
increments.
Yeah. And again, I get it. It all came on the same cargo ship. They don't want to pay to keep it in storage in some warehouse, so they got to filter it through the appropriate channels. So I get it, in terms of business perspective, but as collector perspective, it sucks. It really does. Yeah. So anyway, this guy's cool. I have been going kind of somewhat all in on the Dark Knight trilogy Hot Toys figures. The only thing I haven't gotten is like I miss some of the older ones, like the armory they did, like the first armory they did for the Dark Knight, and I think last year or very early this year, perhaps they put up the Dark Knight Rises armory with the bat suit and the Bruce Wayne figure, and I didn't do that one. But for the most part, I've been pretty all in on getting these because they're great. That's why.
Yeah, they are.
Why so broke? Yes. Yeah, we could keep that going all day long. Yeah, so he looks good. There's another Hot Toys Batman thing going on, and this one came out of left field. I had no idea they were going here. Like, I really never would have expected that this is where they were going to go. But nonetheless, they did it. Here it is from Batman Returns. They are making the Bat Missile.
I know. I woke up in the morning for work and I had like 4 people send this to me, and I was just like, holy crap. I was like, why?
It's a bit of a head scratcher. I mean, when it comes to, like, it's not just McFarlane with the Batman, it's Hot Toys too. Like with Batman lately, they're insane. They really are.
Yeah.
And I think, I've talked about it before. I have a feeling that they're not sure if they're going to maintain the DC license once their contract expires next year. I could be wrong. That's my sense from what I've been seeing, what I've been hearing through this. So I think that's why they're not pumping the brakes on Batman stuff. They're just putting out everything they can lately. Last week it was the Dark Knight Returns Batman. This week it's the Bat Missile. It's like there's something almost every week when it comes to Batman and Hot Toys. So yeah, Bat Missile, not for me. I already bought the Batmobile when they did that earlier this year. I don't need a Bat Missile. I love it. I love that movie. It's my favorite Batman movie, but I don't need a giant I don't even know how long it is, like a 40-ish inch long Bat Missile. It's cool. It's great. If you love that, if you'd love to have one, pre-order it. But yeah, I cannot do a Bat Missile. As cool as it is, if I got it for free, I would take it, of course. But yeah, I'm not going to be buying the Bat Missile.
I would love the Batmobile.
It's pretty.
I know. I've seen so many reviews of it, and I'm just like, oh, I want it so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I looked at it one time. I opened the box just to look at it once and to say that I saw it, because I couldn't put it in storage without like at least giving it a look, right? I had to see it. And I was like, one day. But right now, there's no way I would have any room to put that anywhere. I just want to know that I have it for my own peace of mind, knowing that one day, I always say that. I always say one day. We all say one day, when I have that bigger house, when I have that 3-story mansion that I'm going to turn the whole 3rd floor into a big toy museum. I always go back to that. Probably never going to happen. But we can dream. So at least I have it for, when and if I have the time to display it. It's in my collection. But Bat Missile, not really an essential. It's cool, but definitely not an essential for me, at least. Let's see, what else do we got here? So I'll go ahead and just toggle through a few photos here of the Bat Missile. So I think this, okay, 42.9 inches long, so it's a little over 40 inches, about 43 inches. And yeah, it's a very, I mean, it's a very notable moment in Batman Returns. His Batmobile falls apart purposefully so he can go through a very narrow alley that kind of doesn't really make sense if you think about it. Like, seriously, like, why is there an alley why didn't they just fill the whole space in? I don't know, but yeah, it's cool. I'm at least happy to see it. I'm happy that they're doing stuff that nobody else has done, because no one else has done a Bat Missile before at this scale, at least.
It looks cool, though.
It does look really cool. It does look really cool. Kenner made one back in the day, but not. I think that's been basically about it, other than like little Hot Wheels kind of things. Yeah, I certainly appreciate its looks, but yeah, it looks good. It looks good. I can't fault its looks. I can just, okay, I don't want to look at it anymore because I just had a little light bulb go off saying like, well, Victoria, what if you canceled, this upcoming pre-order? No. I'm not even going to go there. I'm not getting the Bat Missile. I ain't doing it. I'm not falling for the Bat Missile.
Don't do it.
I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it. Not happening. Adam says, this is someone's dream toy for sure. I bet it is, and that's awesome. I love the fact that whoever that person is, is getting what they've always wanted with the Bat Missile. So I'm happy for them. Um, I love how we're keeping up with the Joker jokes. The Joker jokes.
I know they all keep going.
Tells me I buy too much. Tells me I ought to stop collecting. One day I buy a hot toy. She can't stand the sight of it. I love it. I love it. You guys are the best. Thank you for brightening my Friday evening. Toying around. Hello there, toying around. How's it going, Kevin? Good to see you. Yeah, keep the jokes coming, you guys. I need more of those. I definitely need. Oh, here's another one. What will I do without you? Go back to ripping off mom deals. Okay, yeah. So some people really want this thing. Some people really want this thing.
Like diehard Batman collectors will definitely buy this if this is strictly just your, like what you buy, just Batman stuff. Then yeah, they'll definitely buy it. But if I had to pick between the Batmobile or the Bat Missile, I'm definitely going with the Batmobile.
Yeah, definitely. Like that's like I feel like that's the obvious way to go, right? It's like the Batmobile. Oh gosh, I really wish I had a place to put it. Not the Bat Missile, but the Batmobile. Is just because it's freaking gorgeous. I felt so sad when I had to put it into storage, but I was like, I really have nowhere to put it. It's just like it's the kind of thing that you really need like a really, 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 really big space to put it somewhere. Charlie says, Hot Toys will 200% drop a Catwoman from this movie. 300%. They'll absolutely do it.
400%.
Okay, I'm not going higher than 300. So you win.
We need this. We need this.
I already went in on the Jazz Inc. one. I already pre-ordered that, so I'm gonna be good with that. But if Hot Toys does one too, the more the merrier.
You did pre-order the Jazz Inc. one? I remember we were messaging each other about it.
I did, and I sprang for the deluxe 2-pack.
Oh, I can't wait to see what it looks like.
Yeah, I just have to wait till 2026.
I almost pulled the plug, but I was just like, no, I can't.
Yeah, for me, like I said, that this is my favorite Batman movie. I know it's not the best Batman movie, but for me, it just holds a lot of nostalgia. And like Tim Burton's, like I love anything Tim Burton and his Batman movies. Like that's what I think about when I think of Batman, because that's what it was when I was a kid. That's what I had, right? So it's for me that Catwoman was like a once in a lifetime, so to speak, type piece that I could not miss. Like it was, pricey, absolutely, but there was no way I was gonna miss it. I'd be happy to sacrifice a couple other Hot Toys like Star Wars or other random items, but like there was no way I was not gonna get that Catwoman, so I had to get in.
Yeah, see, I agree with you. Like Batman, that Batman is my ultimate favorite. I still have the original movie poster. Like when they had first announced that, Michael Keaton was coming back to be on The Flash, like I geeked the hell out, because at the end of the day, for me, when people ask me who's my Batman, I'm always saying it's Michael Keaton. That whole style, Tim Burton, and like the same thing. I love Tim Burton and his dark ways of showing like the dark side of Batman. 100%. I can rewatch these now and relive myself being that 9-year-old kid just watching them and just being super excited.
Yeah, 500%. Yeah, no, it's lots of nostalgia, with the movie, with the toys from back then, with the McDonald's promotion from back then, all that stuff.
Oh, 100%. Love the McDonald's promotions.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm here for it. If Hot Toys does one, maybe I would pick up their version of Catwoman as well. I don't know. I mean, yeah, they will do one. They will do one. They'll probably do Penguin as well. And they need to bring back Joker, because I wasn't collecting Hot Toys when they did the first Joker the first time around, the Jack Nicholson Joker. So
even the NECA figures were phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And they were huge. I've seen them in stores, and a couple times I've sat there and I'm just like, oh, I really want these, but I'm like, I don't want to dive into buying Batman stuff, because if I do, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue buying them.
I love this, Adam. Victoria's checking account number is hell here. basically, basically, I got you. I mean, believe it or not, I do maintain a pretty good budget for keeping that stuff separate from interfering with the rest of my life. So I manage pretty well, but you got to be careful. It's a very slippery slope. It's easy to overdo
Mm-hmm.
it, like we were saying earlier.
Very, very slippery. So
I thought you were a Batman Robin kind of. I hope this is a joke, Charlie. I hope that is a joke. Not that I hate that movie because, it was fun for its time. I was still a kid when that one came out too, but it yeah. I mean, come on. Maybe that's sarcasm there. Um, Here's another one. You see, I'm a guy with simple taste. I enjoy vintage collection, Jurassic and Batman. You know the thing they have in common, they're expensive.
he's like, okay, last Dark Knight joke.
No, like I said, keep them coming. I want more. More, more, more. Um, the rest of us need Victoria's budgeting channel. uh, yeah. Um, Maybe that's an episode of Cantina Chatter podcast or something. But yeah.
This is how
Um,
you budget.
yeah. I mean, because it is very easy to take over like your life, right? Like anything, like any hobby, like any affliction, it is something that can absolutely be unhealthy if you allow it to be, right? Everything's in moderation. Everything is in perspective of obligation, right? If you can afford your mortgage, you can afford your gasoline, your car payment, your food, your electricity, your gas bill, all that stuff, and then you can do toys, then awesome, go for it, buy toys, but it all has to be like within perspective of all those things. And that's with any hobby, right? Like maybe your hobby is why can't I think of any hobbies other than collecting right now? What does that say about me? um yeah, I mean, maybe your hobby is mountain climbing, or maybe your hobby is going to the Caribbean every year on a cruise, or maybe your hobby is uh, what are
Golf
some other hobbies,
courses.
Nilda? I'm losing it here.
Well, for me, like I also have sports hobbies, so it's like I gotta, I love going to sporting events. So like that I also have to fluctuate in regards to collecting. So it's like when my favorite teams are in town, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not gonna buy this toy. I'm gonna buy tickets to go see my favorite team play. So yeah, it's balancing things out.
Yes, balance the light, balance the dark,
Yeah.
and bring balance to the force of collecting, hobby of collecting. Can a gardening hobby get out of hand? I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're doing topiaries and you're doing like hardcore, like flower competitions and stuff, then yeah, I bet it could. I'm not saying from personal experience that I don't do that, but probably. I do other things though. I mean, I do have other hobbies. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately. Um. Anyway, I don't think we talked about the price. I'll just mention it real quick. $610 for the Bat Missile. The
What?
Batmobile, the complete Batmobile was like 720, I want to say, something like that. So
And
I'm a
this
little.
is
This is very expensive. I feel like I don't feel like it should be that expensive, but it is. So another reason I'm not picking it up. It's just too expensive, but it is what it is. What can you do? I have no idea what this is about July through November because I do not do sports to any extent. But
they're they're talking about the boxing event. So like before the Tyson fight, they had two of the female cards fighting right now.
cool.
Yeah. I know. When you messaged me and you were like, "Do you want to hop on?" I'm like, "I'm going to position my area where like my TV is across the way. I can see it. I'm going to mute it, but like for anybody who follows me, like Mike Tyson is one of my favorite boxers of all time. And anybody can get upset with that comment that I'm about to say. I've loved him since 95. I have so many posters of him in my living room. I got my hoodie. I have a Mike Tyson tattoo, so it's like it's a big deal. So like we're talking about other hobbies. That's my hobby. I love boxing.
Right on. Have you met him yet?
So, fun fact. So my boss, so I work in orthopedics, and Mike Tyson actually came to our facility 3 years ago, and my boss purposely did not allow me to be the intake nurse for that day because he knew that I was going to lose my shit and I wasn't going to be able to work that day. So they had me work on the opposite end of the clinic. But my boss was texting me going, "You have no idea who's in the room right now." And I went, "Who?" And he said, "Mike Tyson." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Let me come." And he was like, "No." He's like, "I already know how you're going to act." He's like, "You're going to be like a little kid." He's like, "It's got to be fully professional." He was like, "And I already know you're going to ask for pictures and autographs." I was like, "No, I'm just going to ask for a picture. I just want to take a picture with him." But he lives like, I want to say like 40 minutes away from me. They always say that he's hanging out by the beach, like running and like working out. So like one day I will probably not hide out, but like hang out in that area and go like fake running or jogging and like try to bump into him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely like my bucket list of like celebs that I definitely want to meet. I will be in like heaven to meet him.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Well, I hope you get to meet him someday.
Thank you. I'll tag you when I do. Or I'll be like screaming.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure there'll be an opportunity. It sounds like there will be an opportunity. So
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of the bat missile. And there's one more collectible. And I think I saw that you said you were going to be getting in on this one. So let's go ahead and pull this up. This one just came out, I think, I hadn't seen it prior to last week, so I don't know if it had been announced. I haven't pre-ordered it yet. I'm interested, and I need you to convince me to order it, Nilda, which is going to be very hard to do. I'm going to be honest. It's not going to be very hard to do. But I believe you got in, or you said you were going to be pre-ordering this right here.
Yeah. Done deal. You have to get this. So one of my friends was at the D23 in Brazil, and they actually sent me videos of this, what it looks like. You have to buy this. I already pre-ordered this.
I mean, it looks pretty freaking awesome, I will say.
One thing I will say about Iron Studios, they do not disappoint whatsoever. The figures may be small, but the details are so accurate. Like I have 6 of their figures, and like one of my ultimate favorite ones, there is one little small thing about it that I'm not a big fan of, but it's one of the Obi-Wan Kenobi statues, and it's just the detail in the face is just absolutely beautiful. They don't miss. And this is, if you're being a Star Wars fan, and if you're a fan of this like majestic poster, this is something you definitely need to have.
It's very, very tempting. It is
Yeah.
very, very tempting to me right now. Like I keep looking at it. I keep pulling it up on my phone every at least once a day, trying to decide. Okay, so this is the classic Hildebrandt logo that was popular on merchandise in 1977 to promote Star Wars. It was then part of the Kenner packaging for the vintage Star Wars line in 1978, where it remains today on the vintage collection packaging. If it's a film if the film out is from A New Hope. So it's very classic. It's very familiar. It's very recognizable. It's very iconic. And now there is a statue of it, and they they did put out a video. I think it was on their website. I saw a video the other day of them like going around the model and everything, and
Yeah.
it is really cool. It is
So
really, really, really cool.
I see a couple people like commenting on the chat. So it's $90 to pre-order, but the figure alone, I think it's like 400 or I think it's like 300. But it's 90 to pre-order. So it's not $90 in total. Hold on, it's on their
Right.
website.
Yeah, that's correct. 90 to pre-order, but the total is $449.99.
Yeah.
So the deposit is 20%. That is charged up front, and then the rest is collected upon release in the third quarter of 2025.
Yeah. As soon as I saw them like announce this, I like tagged Iron Studios immediately and I was like, I am buying this now. Like this is a must. Usually like when I see stuff like this, I always like contemplate and think about it, but this was like immediately like I'm plugging in my credit card. We're buying this now. This is a must. So, yeah, Victoria, you need to buy this. Like I don't know how else I'm going to convince you, but you need to buy this.
I'm pretty convinced. I think I just needed a final like push.
Yeah.
Um,
It's so accurate to the poster.
yeah, no, it is. It look and I can't show the video here, but if anyone wants to check out the video on their site or on their Instagram page, Iron Studios Instagram page, you get a really good look at this thing from all angles, and it's gorgeous. It really is a really cool piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
will.
forgot what's the name of the guy that I follow, but there's a guy that I follow on Instagram who actually will take lightsabers and like put lights in them to power them on, and it makes it look like they're actually working. I definitely want to hit him up and ask him if he can make me a lightsaber to put into Luke's hand to make it light up so it illuminates just like how the poster does.
Yeah. Yeah, and they did say that this comes with 2 lightsabers. It has like the blue one you see in the image there, but also it comes with the white one that you see on the old artwork.
Yeah. And plus, because, the fact that the artist who, he recently had passed away. So it's just like, this
Right.
is, a piece that is definitely going to be worth purchasing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so neat. And it says third quarter 2025. So time to save, right? Time to squirrel away, a few bucks each month until you get to third quarter 2025, and then at that point it's not as big of a deal. So these companies keep getting me lately with all kinds of really cool stuff.
Do it.
Oh, yeah. I guess we can consider it done.
Do it.
Are you pre-ordering it?
Not this minute, but yeah, that'll be happening soon. That will be happening very, very soon. I just want to get the dimensions on this real quick, see if they're mentioned here before I close off of it, because I'm curious about that. It says it's 1/10 scale. So as far as the size goes, it's going to be, I'm guessing that's something like what, like a 9-inch?
Mm-hmm.
Probably like a 9-inch range or so for the figures. So yeah, sizable, not tremendously like overly big, probably displayable, but yeah, it'll be a little bit large. Dodgson, bid you farewell. Thank you for coming in. You can always watch the replay to catch new acquisitions. Yeah, so lots of cool stuff. All right, so before we get to new acquisitions, we'll just touch on one more topic here. I know we were chatting about this earlier this week, and we were very excited about it. and of course, no spoilers or anything here because I don't know who has seen or hasn't seen, but man, what a show.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yeah, it was really, 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 really good. And I know DC shows are all over the place. Like there's been some decent ones, there've been some really bad ones. Um, but this was on HBO Max, so you're already expecting to be of a higher caliber. It was directly ties into the Batman film rights in that same universe, so you're expecting it to be in line with the quality of that film. And it really did live up to both of those barometers. It really did. It really did succeed as its own story out apart from the Batman. Like, because you could watch this just outside of the Batman, and it's still a freaking awesome show. You don't need
Yeah.
to see the Batman, but of course, it's part of that bigger story. Um, but yeah, like every episode was solid. Like there was never a dull moment. Like every little bit of character development was superb. Every little bit of action was superb. Like every detail was really, really well executed. I was pretty blown away by this show.
The one thing that I will say that was my ultimate favorite thing about this show was they made Oz's character like you loved him. You were like rooting for him. And then like towards the end, they were like, wait a second, why are you guys liking him? We're gonna really show you why he's notorious and why he's the penguin, and this is what we're gonna drop. And then wait a second, we drop this. Wait, we're gonna drop one more thing, and then the end, we're gonna drop another thing. I'll be honest with you. My fiance was like, "Oh, let's record our reactions." And I was like, "No, I don't want to record my reaction." And the next thing you know, towards the end, I was like, "Why did we record our reactions?" Cuz I screamed, I cried. I was just like, "What the hell is going on?" And then towards when it ended, I literally was standing up in my living room and just clapping, and I was like, "This was the greatest DC show I have ever watched."
Yeah, no, it absolutely was. It was tremendously good. Like
Yeah.
I if this gets any like nominations in terms of like Golden Globes or Emmys or whatever, like 100% deserved. Like the
Oh,
acting
1000%
was
they need Emmys.
yeah, the acting, like the whole thing, like every character was just flawless performance. I felt like it was just very cohesive. It was very well directed, very well acted, very well scripted. It was just top tier type of show, and I was just there for every moment of it, like looking forward to every Sunday night. And yeah, you're totally right about the characterization. Like, I mean, he's like, you know he's like a kind of sort of the protagonist, but also like an anti-hero kind of thing. But then by the end, he's like, oh yeah, this is a Batman villain, right? He is a villain, and they reinforce that a lot. They hit you over the head with it, like you were saying, like at the very end, a few times. Yeah. Do you think there'll be a season two?
I'll be honest with you, we were just talking about that earlier today before I went to work, and I honestly would not want a season 2. I love the way that they ended this. So it's like for me, I feel like if season 2 sucked, it would change your mind of for season 1, because like for instance, I always use this as an example. The Mandalorian season 1 was phenomenal. Season 2 was jaw dropping. And then you drop season 3 and everybody completely hated it. So I believe a season 2 it's not needed. I think the way that they ended this ended phenomenal. It restored anybody who's a DC fan. It restored their faith in DC. And I'll be quite honest with you, some of these writers for all these other shows need to kind of take some of the input of the writers for this show and say like, this is how you make really good shows. And you know, I don't know. This, I'll be honest with you, is my favorite show of the whole entire year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. For me
Yeah.
too, it was. Yeah, I tremendously loved it. And I agree with your sentiments about a season two. I don't want to see a season two. I think that they wrapped it up beautifully, and I mean, I think the character is he's where he needs to be for the next Batman film at this point. So I don't really think season two would really serve any purpose. I wouldn't mind if they did like a Selena Kyle like series, or like they followed a different character for
Yeah.
like another show and another like part of this universe that's made into a series. But
I
uh,
will say this, like my favorite thing about this show was, you know, they didn't really make the announcement of it, but there were so many different hidden like Mickeys in this show.
yep,
Like, you know, if people really know about like DC, there was like references of Clayface on here, but you really didn't know. There was references of Scarecrow, but you really didn't know. But it was just like if you're a fan of Batman, you saw some of those things. And it was, you know, like I said, I loved watching this on Sundays and just like shutting off my phone, watching it, and then like sometimes I would rewatch the episodes on Monday because I was like, man, I'm missing stuff out. And then I would
yeah,
find them and I'm just like, oh, I was like, they showed this person's, you know, like like in one of the episodes, they show Scarecrow's like hand and mask. They gave a lot of references to Clayface. So it was just like, you know, like I said, if you're a fan of that universe, you definitely knew what characters were out there.
yeah, yeah, totally. Um, yeah, very exciting, and I think ultimately it's going to be like my favorite series this year. And
Yeah.
I cannot wait for the Batman Part Two. I cannot wait for that film.
And I'm hoping that like the same people who helped write the Penguin are definitely going to be part of Batman too, because I loved it. I thought it was great. You know, a lot of people were giving what's his face from Twilight, you know, crap for being
Yep.
that Batman. But it's like you guys have to understand like this was Batman when he was, you know, just starting off to becoming Batman and he's still an adolescent and you know, he's still very rebellious and you know, he's still trying to find himself. And you know, we get all these different stages of Batman and it's like I really enjoyed him being Batman. So it's like I'm hoping when they do, you know, part 2, you know, we're going to go straight from the Penguin into this, sorry, into straight into this character and it's going to be like a lot more darker. And I love the fact that he was not once whatsoever in the Penguin.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Just the one Easter egg we won't really talk about. There is one Easter egg, that alludes
Yeah.
to him, um, yeah. I mean, I know they're doing all the other DC stuff with like James Gunn's doing his whole thing. I like James Gunn, but I have zero interest in any of that, to be honest with you. Like, I just want to see more of the Matt Reeves Batman and that
Yeah.
role.
That's all I want. That's all I want to see.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier, and you said it too. Like Michael Keaton is Batman, like 100%. But what I really appreciate about this version of Batman as well is this is the first time like there's been like somebody playing Batman that's like the same age as me. So like that's new for me. I haven't experienced that yet. So I have like a different kind of connection to this series as well for that reason. So
Mhm.
I'm just really enveloped in this universe. And I see some comments in here uh, about what we're talking about in terms of toys as well. So Bob says that he went to the McFarlane panel at New York Comic Con a couple of weeks ago and asked one other people if they had any plans for figures from the Penguin, and they said no, not at this time. Um, Also says that Penguin is absolutely the best DC show ever. It's not even close.
Yeah. Facts.
Dad Bader says this team needs to do the DC revamp. Yeah, but I want him to keep Batman separate. I don't need to mix in Superman. We already saw how that played out. We don't need to mix in Green Flash or whatever. Like, you just keep it like Green Flash. That's not even a thing. Not even making sense anymore. Uh, Green Lantern or Flash. We don't need any of those. Like,
Well, they
keep
just
them
recently
separate.
did the statue of the Green Lantern.
Yeah,
It was like
yeah,
a
yeah,
major announcement. So it's like I feel like they're trying to throw like us a hint that they're going to be showcasing, you know, another Green Lantern, and we all know that movie bombed.
yeah. It did. Bob saying, I would love a Sophia Falcone figure. Like, yeah,
Yes, in the
please.
green dress.
Mm, Any of them, honestly. Like, all the looks are killer.
Yeah.
Charlie says build out a different Batman villain in the Reeves verse, no Penguin season 2. Yeah, that's it. That's what I mean. Like if they followed like another character, like that would be pretty cool. I'd like to see that. William says love the Penguin. Please give us Clayface. I mean, that's what the rumor mill is kind of suggesting, isn't it? Like maybe Clayface, possibly.
I would
I don't
love
know
to
how
see
he would work,
Clayface.
but I'm sure they'll find a way. I'm not too worried about that. Like they'll find a way to make it work. Because I mean, I don't need to see like Joker again. I know he kind of had his little bit already, but like that's already been done so well multiple times now. It's like he's obviously important. You know, Joker is like very important to any Batman story, but I kind of appreciated the way they handled it in the first film. Just kind of like there's a moment there, but that's all it is, right? Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's there in the background, but he doesn't need to be the focus of these movies. All right, so I think we are going to go ahead and move into our final segment of the night, which is new acquisitions, brand new things that we've been adding to our collection. So brand new acquisitions, anything that we want to show off.
Good. New acquisitions.
So we're always adding things to our collections, and we're going to talk about brand new things. That my friends in the chat, if you've added anything to your collections you would like to tell us about, please do so. And I believe I saw that that Dodgson, before he left, did leave his acquisitions here. Vintage Collection, Mandalorian and Grogu, battle damage for $6 at the flea market. All right, thank you for sharing that, Dodgson. So anyone else that wants to share? July 3rd, November, I did see your message on Instagram. I did receive that, so I will take a look at that after the show. All right, so Nilda, I always let the guests go first. So is there anything that you've added to your collection recently that you would like to show and tell?
Recently I picked up a Sabine helmet. I like posted a picture of it on my Instagram. And then unfortunately, because this is my birthday month, I was told I was not allowed to buy anything whatsoever. But I did get a new Legos. I got one new Lego set, but because this is the month of November, I'm not allowed to buy anything, and this is coming from my family, so my new acquisitions won't come until November 27th.
Nice. So that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, like my family has seen like some of the stuff that I favorite, and like, you know, I send it to them on a list, so I don't know, we'll see what's coming, but I it's been very tough on me not trying to purchase anything, especially this month because of it. But, you know, like I said, my family, I have a feeling my family got me some pretty cool stuff.
Nice. That'll be exciting to see, and I'll take a look out when the time comes to see everything you get.
Yeah.
All right. So for me, Disney Store online has been running like some hardcore sales. Like they really have. They were doing a big 25% off last week on most things on their website. So of course I took advantage. So I'll show you guys what I ended up with here. So I picked up 2 more of these sets because they were 25% off. I wanted 1 more of these Clone Troopers and 1 more of these Night Trooper sets. So that, I think this brings me to 4 of these Clone Trooper sets, and that brings me to 2 of these Night Trooper sets, which I'm good with. I don't need more than that. Also, for taking advantage of that sale, I did get the latest retro collection. This is the prequels, Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones box set.
Oh, wow.
So one of these, I know I mentioned it already on Instagram earlier this week, but I'm not buying like doubles of a lot of this stuff anymore. The other thing that I got is also 25% off. I got the E-Wing. So it finally came in from Disney Store, which is good to get it. It's $100, so to get it for 25% off is pretty helpful. And of course, this has the little action figure of the droid KE4 and 4. And I did mention I'm not buying expensive things double just to get extra figures of. So that is something of the past. I'm not doing it anymore. They're not going to paywall me into buying 2 of these anymore to get those figures behind these expensive sets. So one of these, I'm happy with that. And then I have 2 more items here that actually kind of technically came in last week. I just didn't get a chance to show them off. But I was not going to buy these. I did buy them. I bought them for the reason being that Sideshow was running a really, really good sale on them. I haven't even taken them out of the box yet, so this is the first time I do that. So I have the Hot Toys Batman Forever Robin.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So I got that. And I also picked up, it's fun juggling big boxes on camera. I also got, there's another one of these boxes here. This one is, you can't just have one without the other, right? So Hot Toys Batman Forever Batman.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. So like I said, they were on really good. They were like 30% off on Sideshow's site. They ran a really good sale, and I had a bunch of rewards, Sideshow rewards. So why not? And you know what helped precipitate this was the fact that, okay, so backing up to 1995, this was the one Batman movie I didn't see in the theaters because I was working as a kid. I know it's weird, but I was already working as I've been working since I was like 10 years old. So I was already working, and my younger brother and sister got taken to the movies to go see it. And I didn't get to see it that summer. I was really bummed out. I was bummed out for almost 30 years. But this year they brought it back to the theater, so I got to see it. I finally scratched it off my list. So now I've seen every live action Batman film in the theater at least once. And then these went on sale, so I was like, yeah, I gotta buy them. I know the movie, I enjoy it. It's fun, but it's not one of my favorites. But still, the suits are pretty killer, I thought. So you can't just have Batman without Robin when they're both in the movie. So those are my acquisitions this week.
I just mostly like that movie because when they were showing the scenes of like the close-up of like their body, I don't know why in this movie they made it more like intense. Like when they show Robin, they like show his chest, they show his junk, like everything else. They did the same thing with Batman. Like like somebody puts Batman nipples. They were like very intense. It was just like I think they were just drawing more attention because of the fact that it was Val Kilmer Batman.
Yeah, those are interesting moments. Or like they're getting dressed, they're showing like their body parts off.
Yeah, in this one they showed the body parts like a little bit way too much.
Yes, that is true. In fact, Adam says Victoria finally has 6-scale Batman nipples. That is true. I do have 6-scale Batman nipples and 6-scale Robin nipples too. So my collection's complete, I guess. Reading through some of the acquisitions here that we've received. Peak Obi-Wan says that he received 4 more Heavy Troopers gaming greats for a good price. Nice. Charlie says received the Sideshow Clint Eastwood William Mundy figure from Unforgiven. Nice. It's a good one. Trevor says that he also got the E-Wing, the Armor's Forge, and K2SO. Cool. Britt got a big haul with the Dragonfly haslab. Ooh. The Black Series Phantom Menace 3-pack, Thrawn, Archive, Padawan, Obi-Wan. Nice. That is a good Star Wars haul for sure. And Dragonfly. Britt, very nice. Congrats on that. Adam says, got my TVC Ahsoka from Peridia. Love that figure. Some NECA Universal Monsters 2 New Terrors, and my cousin gave me the Star Wars Life Day cookbook for my birthday last week. And gotta make Bantha surprise. Bantha surprise, that sounds pretty good. Sounds interesting. And yeah, those NECA Universal Monsters Toonie Terrors, they have me intrigued because I love the classic Universal Monsters, and I have
Yeah.
the Jada figures. Um, so yeah, I'm intrigued by those. I'm intrigued. I'm not quite ready to be pushed off the ledge yet for those, but I am intrigued. I'll just say that. Spacehead Studio recently added the full-size animatronic Stormtrooper from Home Depot. Ooh, it takes up so much room. Also got the Disney Park full-size C-3PO helmet with lights and sounds. Yeah, I have that one. I know you have that one too, Nilda, right? The C-3PO head.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
I haven't opened it yet. I've had it here for like almost a month, and I haven't had time to open it yet. But hopefully soon.
Open it.
William got the E-wing, Ahsoka the White, and Emperor's Throne Room. Mary received the latest Vintage Collection Wave, Armor's Forge, and Revenge of the Sith Retro Collection set. Very nice. Let's see. Allison says, picked up a pair of vintage figures from Empire Strikes Back to join the rest of the vintage horde. Nice. Bob got the Armor's Forge and the E-wing, both great, and both card figures are perfect. Very good. We want this series to be perfect, and mine were too. They were really nice condition. Charlie says Universal Monsters licensed IP has gone bonkers 2024-25. So many figures, various scale coming out. I just wish Jada was still making those figures because I really enjoyed the ones that they have. I have a whole little shelf with those on there, and I really wish they continued it. I mean, I know it was almost finished, really, because there's not like a ton of characters, but if they would have continued, it would have been great. Let's see. Adam says, I want that therapy head so badly. Yeah, from what I've seen, what I've heard, it looks gorgeous. And it talks. So that's half the fun right there.
Yeah, it does talk. It's so cool.
Cool. Well, those are all the new acquisitions that have been submitted. So thank you guys for sharing what you've added to your collections this week. And I guess that'll do it. We've covered all of our topics. We've gone for we've been on over 2 hours now. So I guess we'll just close things out with major thanks, Nilda, for coming onto the show and talking about collectibles and toys with me tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I always love coming on here. It's always such a fun time.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that's great to have you. You're always welcome here in the Cantina. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with your channel, anything you have coming up, and where everybody can go to look you up on social media.
So recently I got invited to Fan Expo New Orleans to host a 45-minute panel. So I'm still like in a complete shock of that. That's going to be the weekend of January 9th through the 12th. I think from the last email I just received from them, it's going to be on here. Let me read it for you guys. The panel is going to be on the Saturday, which is January 11th. It's going to go on at 6 p.m. I will be announcing this Wednesday my guest who's going to be coming with me onto the panel and like everything that's going to be going on during that. But just recently I've been interviewing like a nice amount of Star Wars actors that have recently been on like shows, movies, and just like, getting the behind the scenes interviews in regards to like what they did in movies and shows, certain little Mickeys, like little hidden Mickeys that I like to call it. But yeah, overall that's been going on, and hopefully by next year I'll be able to like finally put myself on a set schedule and be able to do more live streams. I know recently we're going to be interviewing the villain for Skeleton Crew, Vane. That's going to happen the day after Skeleton Crew drops. So that I'm like super, super excited about. But yeah, you guys can find me on Instagram as Nilda_listens, or my YouTube channel is called Appetite for Collectibles. I basically just showcase anything Star Wars, horror, and I'm going to go back to like my old school ways where I was showcasing people's collections. So I will probably start filming for that starting this Sunday.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like a lot of great stuff coming up for you. So
Thank
we
you.
will be watching with great interest. So thank you for sharing that. And you guys, we have links down below to Nilda's YouTube and Instagram, so definitely hit her up. And thanks to everybody in the here in the chat, everybody that's been tuning in. We really appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out with us, especially if you've been here from beginning to end. Sorry to torture you for that long, but I hope you had a good time. And thank you for all the jokes. I appreciated the fun time and the positivity here in this chat. Always gotta shout out the positivity and just the great vibe from you guys. So thank you for hanging out with us and for contributing to this show and to helping making it extra special. Just want to remind you guys one more time before we depart for tonight that the brand new single is out from Sounds of the Cantina Haunted House. Wherever you enjoy your music, go out and get it. Album release December 3rd, and the Cantina Social Hour album release party on Tuesday, December the 3rd. So thanks again, Nilda. Thanks, everybody. We will see you same time next week. Cantina Social Hour. We will be back. And really looking forward to doing it once again. So everybody have a great night. Be well, be safe, be positive, be kind, be loving. No matter where you're tuning in from out in the galaxy, thank you for watching Cantina Social Hour. Nilda, hang on for just a moment. Everybody else, I will catch you next week.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.